All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups for today's game. For the University of Scranton, coached by Steve Klingman, the goalkeeper will be Bill McNeil, a sophomore from Wall, New Jersey. The backs, number 8, Bob Hernandez, number 5, Jim Levin, number 11, Eric Nuttall, and number 4, Art Collier. At midfield for the Royals, number 13, Jim Crines, a senior from Spring Lake, Pennsylvania. The center midfielder, number 10, Don DiValerio, and number 3, Mike Crines, who's the younger brother of Jim Crines. That rounds out the midfield. At the forward spots, number 6, Cedric De Silva, number 18, Mark Haley, number 16, Ken Ryman. For Babson College, the keeper will be Brian Cahill. The backs will be John DeMambro, Mark McNabb, John Sisk, and Kevin Bryant. Midfield, John Sexton, Jim Stento, Bob LeBlanc. Number 2, Mark Silva, number 16, Jim Fisher will be up front. They're coached by Bill Rogers. They're the defending Division III national champions last year, having beat Glassboro State of New Jersey 2-1 in the championship game. And incidentally, Glassboro did salvage a little bit of consolation as they won the third-place game, beating Washington of St. Louis, Al, and that one 1-0 played before this game on another field, so as not to chew this one up any further.
Well, as we said in the very beginning of this game, they've been working hours upon hours getting this field in shape, but still, with all that hard work, it has not been for much of a good result. This field is in really brutal shape, and as I said earlier also, I think we're going to see some strange things happening in front of the net.
There's the opening kickoff, and in the royal blue, as the name indicates, the Royals of Scranton University in the white home uniforms with the gray numerals are the Beavers of Babson College, who have won the national championship twice in Division III. Last year included. It was also the site of the Division III championship in both 1977 and 1978, both years won by someone else. Lock Haven State of Pennsylvania has always been the nemesis for Scranton's road to the finals. Lock Haven, though, this year has gone Division II. They are in the Division II championship game, so Division III was kind of wide open in that area. And Scranton had an amazing season and got into this championship.
If you look at these two teams, on defense, they're even up. And you've got to give the offensive advantage to Scranton. And if you were to pick these two teams on paper before the game, you would give the edge to Scranton. Although this is a championship game, in the playoffs, Babson has played in 19 games. They've won 17 of the 19, and the 2 they lost were by penalty kicks. So when the games are on the line, Babson is a key team. So you can't just count them out just because Scranton's got the offensive advantage.
Scranton attacking, committing a foul. It's a free kick for the Royals as Babson was trying to attack. Here comes number 11. That for Babson College is Jimmy Stento. They play it over to the left corner. The cross broken up defensively by the Scranton Royals. 13, John Sisk on the effort for Babson. They keep it alive offensively, and Scranton trying to keep it away from that penalty area. It comes back out once again to John Sisk. Boots it up ahead for Bob LeBlanc, number 20, over the near touchline. It'll be a throw-in for the Scranton Royals. So far in the very early going of the game played over on the Scranton half of the field. Throw-in once again for the Royals. This time they should be able to make it up over the midfield marker and try to do some attacking of their own. Very powerful offensive team, and you saw there briefly in your picture number 6, Cedric De Silva, the guy they'll be looking for, and they're trying to spot him right now. But a steal engineered by number 10, Kevin Bryant, the stopper back on this team, and one of the keys, the most valuable player really defensively for them, along with Connolly. Those two, the keys to the attack, or the defense, I should say, for the Babson Beavers.
Lou, the wind is going to be a big factor here also today, but I don't think it will befriend one team over the other because it's blowing directly towards us. So I think you'll see a lot of the play on the near touchline simply because that's the way the wind is going to be blowing it, and it's going to take a lot of hard work to keep the ball on the far side of the field.
Tripping call. Trip committed by number 3, Mike Crines of Scranton, so it's a free kick on the Beavers half. We'll take another look at what led to that foul call. There's Stento, number 11, controlling as you see, and here number 10 coming along and actually committing the trip was Don DiValerio for the Scranton Royals.
Well, the reason was the ball skipped by and it was all body. If there was some ball involved in that tackle, it wouldn't have been a foul, but the ball got by and it was just all ankles and shins, and that's why the foul was called.
You should also have some fun with these numerals when these players get lawned here and go down and scoop up some of the pounds of mud that are on this field.
When I used to go to the University of Massachusetts every spring, they used to have a mud bowl. And I think this would rival that one pretty simply at the end of the second half. I think we'll be able to say that this was a mud bowl.
Let's go back to your comment on the wind. It's not going to make very many friends up here at our broadcast location either. Al fresco we are here at Wellesley, Massachusetts, in the great outdoors. Isn't it great? All right, here come the Babson Beavers in white trying to attack. Number 20 with possession is Bob LeBlanc. Feeds off to his left. Here comes the cross into the box, broken up by the Scranton Royals. Let's see the kick deep. They go short, now get it up ahead to De Silva. He back passes to Mike Crines, brought down by Babson. And the Beavers take it up to the top of the penalty box again. 16 working hard for possession. Jimmy Fisher for the Babson Beavers. Warded off the ball and saved in nicely by Eric Nuttall for the Scranton Royals. And it'll be a throw-in from the near touchline. Throw-in made by Art Collier for Scranton. Downfield again goes over the touchline. Don't think anyone touched it. It'll be a Babson throw-in. Good shield made that time by Bob LeBlanc, number 20. Kicked up to midfield, again over the touchline, and this throw-in again belongs to the Babson Beavers.
So far the game has not been a very smooth one, although Babson has done well to keep the ball in the Scranton half of the field, at least for the first few minutes. About 5 minutes into this so far, and Scranton really hasn't taken the ball up to their opposing team's penalty area.
Pushing was the call against the Babson Beavers. Free kick for the Scranton Royals now. The boot made by number 4, Art Collier. Once again, the throw-in. This time around the midfield for the Scranton Royals. The officials here are John Buckley, Art Ham, and Steve Rossetti. 3 officials working this Division III championship game. Incidentally, in the event of a tie at the end of regulation, they will go as many as 4 15-minute sudden death overtime periods. Interesting note on the semifinals, they actually didn't go 4 overtimes. They went 4 overtimes, they didn't go the 4-15. First 2 were 15s, and it was so cold and so rainy and so muddy, they decided to go to a 5-minute third overtime session and a 5-minute fourth overtime session, and about a minute and a half into that is when they finally got the goal and won the game.
Well, I wasn't at that game, but you were, and the rain was certainly coming down, and that's why the field is the way it is today. These two teams have never met, by the way.
First meeting, and it really shapes up as a giant confrontation because they've been among the top 4 in the nation in the national poll all season long. Scranton came into the tournament in the final weekly poll ranked number 4. Glassboro State, oddly, which had to play in the 3rd place game, came in as the number 1 ranked team. Ball served downfield, and they were trying to get it up ahead to Ken Ryman on the attack for Scranton. With the ball is De Silva. Good dribbling by De Silva up at the top of the box. Dribbling is really going to be tough today, that's for sure. Try by Crines. Headed away, and here comes an on-rush by Don DeValerio, and he kicks wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Babson.
And if I was the coach of one team or the other, I would say stay out of the middle. Don't even try to bring the ball up the middle. Let's work it down the wing where the field is at best. Push some forwards up at center and hope for a bad bounce inside, or maybe you get a goal that way. But to take the ball down the middle is just ridiculous. But that ball was deflected on the last shot. Yep. We'll have a corner kick.
So it's going to be a corner kick, not a goal kick. As DeValerio tried, it's going to be a corner kick coming up here for the Scranton Royals.
This ball's going with the wind, so watch it take off. It's going to be very important to not put too much on the ball. This is De Silva taking the kick.
De Silva trying to get some running room there. Swings it in. Not deep enough, and the Babson defense is able to ward it off, and this time it will be a goal kick.
See the ball just die there. It landed in the mud and just sat there, and it just seemed like an endless second for someone to get there. Could have been either team, and that's the kind of situation I think is going to happen in front of the net, resulting in a goal. There's a lot of banging going on in front of this net, especially with people trying to get their footing as we look at this corner kick again.
And look at the mud. That's the heavily muddy area right there.
The ball just sitting there in the mud, waiting for someone to knock it and spinning in the mud.
Back to live action, no score. We're still in the first half of play, and 37-40 remaining in this first of 2 45-minute halves. Throw in for the Scranton Royals being made by number 4, Art Collier. He is a senior, a back from Bloomfield, New Jersey. Headed up by Mark McNabb. He's a freshman out of Norwalk, Connecticut for the Babson Beavers. Scranton wins possession back. Now a confrontation for the ball. Coming away, number 7 for Babson College, John Sexton. Senior out of Barrington, Rhode Island. Tries to get it downfield. Let's see who had the last touch on that one. Yes, it was the Babson Beavers off the foot of number 7, John Sexton. Throw in for the Scranton Miners. Scranton Royals.
What sport are you thinking of?
Well, you know, there were 2 Scranton Miners, if I recall. There was a pro football team called the Scranton Miners, and if I'm not mistaken, a pro basketball team. It just flows naturally. So we put that one away in the memory bank, and heretofore always refer to them as the Scranton Royals. Scranton Royals will have a free kick just over the midfield marker. Number 4, Art Collier, will take the free kick. They have 3 men down in the box now, and De Silva just outside of it as they line up their offense. The man marking on De Silva heads it away right over the top, and Babson gets it back.
Here's a decent break right here. Nope.
Jim Fisher tried to go into the middle of the field, broken up. Babson does get it back, and Fisher does get it back down along the left touch. Has DeMambro behind him, starting to make a move. His good cross.
That's what we're talking about.
Dangerous play and kicked away by number 11 on the defense, Eric Nuttall. That could have been very dangerous to the goalkeeper, who was just right out front and almost naked. He was just
well, they took
shape.
it down the left wing. Well, watch the footwork again. Number 16 for Babson is Jim Fisher, as he tries to get around 1-2, and then just as he gets the two defenders right on him, he crosses it. We're back live.
Back to live action in a scoreless soccer match for the NCAA Division III Championship. Shot on goal is defended very nicely, and the Scranton Royals with Bill McNeil as their keeper from Wall, New Jersey, able to head it off. Not much of a goal kick, and getting the ball into the air, really the air game today is going to be extremely tough, Al.
If I was a coach also, I'd be telling my keepers, keep the ball out of the air. Let's roll it out of that penalty area. Let's throw it. Let's get it to somebody and keep this game in control. That time, McNeil hit the turf with on the kick, and that's why the ball didn't go anywhere, and it almost was a very dangerous play.
3 on the play is Mike Crines for Scranton. He gets it back to Mark Haley. Haley has great size at 6'3" or 6'4", and is able to, hopefully for Scranton, from their point of view, able to control the play at midfield with that great height. But again, air is going to be a tough commodity in the game today. That one goes over the head of Haley. Taken by number 11 for the Babson Beavers, Jimmy Stento. Up to midfield, now over on the Scranton side of the field, as Mark Silva tried to make the break. Ball over the touch, off the foot of Silva, and it's going to be a throw in for Scranton.
Watch Mark Silva, that's him right there, but look at his knees and how heavily taped they are, and for someone like that who's injured probably in both knees, to take a dump like that has got to hurt.
As he came into contact with number 8, Bob Hernandez of Scranton, and back to the live action. We are scoreless, and the clock says 34-15 remaining in the first half. At Wellesley, Massachusetts, Babson College hosting the NCAA Division III Championship, and they won it, of course, last year. Scranton Royals trying to make a break. We have a trip call here against Babson. It'll be a free kick just over the halfway mark.
Pretty good foul for Babson to take, because Scranton had some good things developing on the right wing. If they had gotten it over on the near side, they might have had a decent shot at getting it all the way down to the goal line, but instead, Babson got a foul, and now Scranton's got to start over again.
Now they've got De Silva down there, and they've got Crines, number 3, headed away by the Babson Beavers. Number 20, Bob LeBlanc on the header, but it goes to Crines, coming in from right wing. Looking for De Silva, who's right out in front of the keeper. Let's see if Crines can get by 2 men. There's his cross. It's set up. It goes high over the head of one attacker. Good block on the part of number 7, John Sexton, by Don DiValerio's shot. And the Beavers able to thwart this one. That was a pretty fine cross from the right wing by Crines, who had set up DiValerio. A very good defensive play by Johnny Sexton of the Babson Beavers.
Well, we see the first emergence of the Scranton offense at work. That time the quarterback was Crines, who took it into the corner, was turned back once, took it in again, and got a real good cross off it. But the wind is just doing crazy tricks with the ball.
It was excellent.
Keep the ball on the ground.
Your point was well taken about staying out on the wings, because that's really the only part of the field that's in good shape for those crosses. You stay out in the middle, you're in big trouble. It is very, very, very muddy there. Babson Beavers back. Number 4 is John DeMambro. Off to Jim Stento. Stento's good through ball there. Looking for position is Mark Silva, number 2, and a steal by the Scranton Royals. Lead ball picked off again by the Babson defense. On the play is number 5, Mark McNabb. It was intended for number 16, Ken Ryman of the Scranton Royals.
And that was a big play by McNabb. There were only 2 back. And if he got beat, then there was only 1 defender back who was 15 yards off the play. It could have been a wide open shot for Scranton.
Could have been one-on-one, as you said. 32 minutes now remaining first half. We are scoreless.
And I'll tell you, as my feet are blue and my hands are numb, my question to the NCAA is,
why
is this game in Tampa?
You got it. Ball comes back now over on the Scranton Royals half of the field. Mike Crines, and they play possession here with one Babson Beaver, Bob LeBlanc, the middleman, trying to get the ball. That looked like the old kids game, keep away, as there were just 3 men rotating in a triangle.
Very impressed with Mike Crines so far for Scranton, number 3. He took the ball all the way to the goal line on a play previous, and this time he was all the way back on the defensive back 4, stopping the ball, getting away from a Babson forward.
That was a good header by number 18, Haley, and that was a good demonstration of how Haley can control the play at the midfield area with that good size. They look for him, and off the head, they're able to go either wing. And we want to remind you about some other good things coming up here on ESPN, your Total Sports Network. You'll be able to see, in addition to all of the NCAA soccer championships, Division 3, 2, and 1, you'll be able to see the Division 1 final on Sunday, December 14th at midnight Eastern Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Time. Our season-long coverage of NCAA soccer concluding in December with telecasts of the finals of all 3 divisional championships, including, of course, this one. And you'll see that Division 1 final from Tampa Bay Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Coming off that promo, as we're back to action, it was a very dangerous cross by Scranton in front, punched out of there by Cahill. It was a whistle on the play. I believe it was pushing inside in front, inside the penalty area. But Lou, one of the things I've noticed is on Babson's defense, in the last 2 times down, they've had 1 defender back on a couple of charges up by Scranton. And with the way the turf is at the top of the penalty area, at the top of the arc, it would be very simple for a defender to simply lose his footing and fall down and leave it wide open for someone to Scranton to go in. So I think I'd be very, very careful to make sure that my defensive backs were shored up with some help, so that everyone knew that anything could happen back there and be prepared for it.
You're right, Al. Babson prides itself on its defensive play, and they, I think, are going to be put to a very severe test here today with players like De Silva and Haley in particular. And Crines, don't want to leave him out.
Well, you go into a championship game with a certain strategy on paper, and you walk out on the field and you look at the turf and you say, my gosh, this has really got to affect the game. So quickly, it's a good coach that's going to change his game plan and his strategy to adapt to the playing conditions, whether it's rain or snow or, in this case, mud.
The throw-in for Scranton, headed away by the Babson Beavers, reacquired by Scranton, coming over to the Babson half. Let's see if the Beavers can get anything going here in front of their home partisans. We have a very decent crowd here as opposed to yesterday, when I wouldn't have blamed anyone for not coming to that game, and yet there were some hardy folks out here in the pouring rain, and I do mean pouring. Second game particularly, the Babson game, I don't think it ever stopped. It was really coming down. Throw in by Art Collier, senior fullback out of Bloomfield, New Jersey, gets it down to Crines. Good body shielding there by Crines, but it goes behind him to the Babson defense and turned back to the goalkeeper by Kevin Bryant, number 10.
Mark of a very smooth defender by Bryant. Just to get smooth inside the penalty area, settled it down, didn't panic even though he was right near the goal, and just drifted back to Cahill, who's got the ball and will put the team back in play here. Now, this is a questionable play right here by Cahill. He's lofting the ball into midfield. Scranton's got a great opportunity to set up on the ball. It's going across midfield where the wind takes it. Now he gives it right back over to Scranton, instead of slowly dishing it out to a defender and maybe working it upfield.
Just a moment ago, you saw a shot of the Scranton bench and Steve Klingman, their head man, who has done just a marvelous job of getting his Scranton Royals. That is he standing with the hands in the pocket, the brown pants, and quite exuberant about the fact that his team is in this championship game. It's always been Lockhaven that's locked them out, and now Lockhaven is gone, and incidentally, their 2 defeats this year, Scranton, one was to Lockhaven, they are now Division 2. The other was to Philadelphia Textile, ranked number 4 in the country in Division 1. So no losses to be ashamed of at all.
And Babson's losses were to Wesleyan, Brandeis, and UNH, University of New Hampshire. Klingman, by the way, is a really big story. Was a fabulous defender when he played this game at Ithaca, and he's in his 7th year now at Scranton. And every year he seems to take Scranton just so far, and then they die. This year they feel that Scranton has the potential to go all the way, and as they're in this championship game, I would say the potential has been achieved.
So far, it is scoreless. 27.5 minutes remain in the first half of play. Scranton moving left to right in the blue. Babson Beavers trying to defend their Division III championship. 2 teams in Division III history have won the title twice. Lockhaven of Pennsylvania, they won it 2 consecutive years. And Babson, which has won it in 1975 and in 1979, trying to win it for a 3rd time. Referee John Buckley whistling up a foul against the Scranton Royals, so it's a free kick here for Babson in white.
Rudy Van Berg, the Belgian walk-on for Babson, is getting ready to come into the game. He's standing at the scorer's table. He's been super in the playoffs so far.
Bob Hartwell used to be the coach here, and he turned the reins of the coaching the soccer team over to a former player. That is he, with the nice hat there and comfortable, the nice green sweater.
Yeah, get a shot of those pants. There we go. The boots, the boots, the
ready
boots.
To play
yeah,
golf.
all right.
And the good boots. Bob Hartwell, the former coach here, and one of his charges, Bill Rogers, is now the head man. Almost a dangerous breakaway play there and a good clearance on the play by number 5, Mark McNabb, as Babson's keeper, Brian Cahill, had to come out. And we get
All right, Von Berg is coming in. He's a big guy, and the reason they're bringing him in is to give him some height up front. The crosses that they're going to have to bring in from the wings, he'll be a big man inside the box. He's in front of the net right now. Here's the corner.
Corner from the right side, and the keeper's there first, Cahill, as the ball simply plopped right out in front. But Babson covered it up well. Defensively, they were right out in front, and they helped Cahill a lot.
Well, it was all white shirts there. We'll get another look at it. Looks like the lunar surface in front of that goal. The cross will come into the net, and in front of the net, and just sit there. Here it comes. Headed in on net by Scranton's number 16, Ken Ryman. Cahill just had a dive on it.
A lot of white shirts there. You're right, it looked like the, what is it, the Rill Valley, Valley of the Rills or whatever. It looked like the lunar surface there. Both goals are that way, but particularly the one that Babson is defending right now.
Well, if that's the case, then it was one small step for man and one giant leap for Babson right in front of the net.
Score remains 0-0, still in the first half of play, as the header on goal by the guy that just came into the game for Babson, number 8, Rudolf van Berg, a sophomore from Belgium, went right to the keeper, Bill McNeil.
Who's not even dirty yet.
Not dirty, that's right. Most of the attack for Scranton has been the other way, and that's a lot muddier half of the field. McNeil has had a rather quiet time, now that you mention it.
So far.
And you're talking, too, about Van Berg not being dirty yet, because he just came into the game. Stealed from behind by Scranton, but a push. So Babson will be allowed to continue on. They'll get a free kick.
We'll see what happens on a play like that, Lou. Babson's going with a 4-4-2. They're worried about the defense now because Scranton's been pushing up in the penalty area. Now they have a break-up field, but only 2 forwards are up there. And Scranton's got their whole defense of 5 players on that particular play, so they didn't get a decent chance to break in. But now they have a chance with a free kick to set things up.
And once again, we look at Steve Klingman as he watches his team on defense. Time remaining in the first half, a little over 24 minutes. Long boot to the top of the box, and Stento goes after it and gets it back for the Beavers as De Silva was chasing. Served down into the box and right on goal, and finally coming out as bearing down on the goalkeeper was Jim Fisher. Coming out was the Scranton keeper, Bill McNeil. That could have been the first goal.
Well, it could have been because Scranton was looking for an offside. They didn't play the ball. They were waiting for the whistle. They're looking at the linesman saying, where is it, where is it? And there was no whistle, and the ball was right there, and Babson had a good chance. We'll get another look at it right here. Watch the Scranton players kind of laying off. They're not running, they're kind of walking, and the keeper had to come out, and now he'll look over at the linesman and say, where was it? And it wasn't going to be.
Back to the live action of this Division III NCAA championship. Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts, hosting it, and they're going against Scranton for the Division III title. Number 8, Van Berg tries to attack for Babson here. The race is on. Kreins turns it back to his keeper.
There are a whole bunch of strategies you can push your whole team forward and try to force a team to keep it in their own half of the field, hoping that the mud will work to your advantage and making the other team make a mistake. Then there's also the defensive strategy and waiting for your one opportunity and trying to make the best of it.
Long throw by Collier, and De Silva trying to get away from the Babson defender who is there to kick it away, John Sisk. Sisk has the man marking assignment on De Silva, and that's no easy task. De Silva's got good speed, great shot, 22 goals this year.
And how many times have you said De Silva's name with the ball so far today? I don't think you can remember, maybe once.
No, that's
certainly
true.
not twice.
They've been able to keep it away from him. Babson has 2 defenders back. The ball plops loose, as you see. Scranton's number 16 down there, Kenny Ryman, who is out of Old Bridge, New Jersey.
Here's
a
a break.
Senior. Here come the Scranton Royals from the left wing. That ball kicked across to De Silva, but there's a whistle, and there's going to be an obstruction call. Obstruction will be called. We'll take another look at it.
Here comes the charge down the near side. Ryman coming inside the penalty area, and that's the obstruction right there with the elbow. This will be an indirect free kick inside the penalty area.
So it sets up a good situation here for Scranton to possibly get the first goal of this game. 4-man wall set up by the Babson Beavers.
What they'll do is try to get a better straight-on shot at it. They'll chip it outside to the top of the arc. Waiting there is a bunch of guys they could go to. Let's see what they do.
Okay, Scranton with it. Let's see how they choose to go.
I say number 10. Nope.
Now De Silva had the shot, and it is blocked by Babson. A very, very fine play by the Beavers on defense. The play made by Jim Stento, number 11. They handled that one extremely well. And here's another try by the Royals. Number 11, Eric Nuttall, comes out deep to Nuttall. The Babson Beavers clear it, and goes over to the Scranton side of the field as we look again at the defensive work of the Babson Beavers.
Well, Scranton went to their big man Silva, and there was the block. Gee, it's got to hurt right off the thigh. But Babson had every single member of their team within 5 yards of the 18-yard line, so they cleared the ball up to midfield. They have no one there, so we're beginning to see why they're such a defensive team and that they don't score a lot of goals.
Silva down into the right corner for Mark Haley for the University of Scranton. And we're going to get another corner kick here for the Scranton Royals, who missed a golden opportunity, but don't take anything away from the defensive work of Jim Stento. He made an absolutely brilliant play to ward off the shot from this guy, De Silva. De Silva with the corner from the right side. It's a short one to Crines. Crines back to De Silva, who had some space there. Now has to go around looking for some more. Here's his cross, and nothing but a Babson defender there to clear the way. Stento once again.
Well, they took the short corner because they're going into the wind, so if they try to do it, they might as well just give it up. So they tried the short one and tried to work it in.
Now, as opposed to the early couple of moments of play when it was all on the Scranton half, it has now been all over on the Babson half. Clock says a little over 20 minutes remaining in a scoreless first half.
All right, we're going to do it again. This will be a throw-in
up here. Number 4 on it is Art Collier, who had to stay away from what looked like an unhappy mutt. He just doesn't like being in the mud, right?
That's part of the home field advantage, Lou. They bring that dog to wherever they're throwing the ball in, and the guys keep looking over his shoulder, and he doesn't do a good throw-in.
It's a very astute coaching move, I would say. Long kick by Bob Hernandez, sails over the near touchline, and it's going to be a throw-in once again for the Babson Beavers.
Well, now we're losing the sun. That ought to do wonders for the temperature here.
Well, it's only a small cloud, Al. Look at that. It's maybe 3 or 4 miles long. Another hour or so, we'll get the sun back. By that time, it'll be sunset, I think. It's nippy.
It was tremendous. It was a great honor following all these teams before us. It really starts preseason, and I think the program and Coach Rogers, it really starts with the workouts and the double sessions. I really felt, every game that we were out there, we were the best conditioned team that we had. They were all gunning for us because we won in '79. So you were the bullet on the bullseye on everybody's schedule. So they really they came at us, but we had a great group of guys who worked hard to practice every day. Double sessions, practice during the season. Guys would stay late, and you'd see them doing sit-ups, push-ups, so forth. So it just, it really pushed us and made us dedicated players to each other.
Right wing, and he'll have the throw-in from the right touchline. But Berg's been a hot player in the playoffs for him. He almost got a start today, which would have been his first of the year, but he's been a key man coming off the bench.
Oh, super clear right on the goal line. Looked like it was going to go over. Von Berg was right there. Didn't see who did it, but whoever did it, good job. Let's look at it again, right on the goal line, right to the keeper.
Bill McNeil, the keeper, was there. Here's the replay.
Von Berg and number 5 of Scranton, Jim Levin, going right to the goal line. Maybe it was Von Berg getting a cross inside as opposed to a clear.
Back to live action now we go. Babson defending in the white. Come up the midfield trying to make a counterattack. Good steal for Babson by Jim Fisher. Takes it down the left side, looking for Von Berg. He's got him in the box, but a good play by the Scranton Royals. Right there on the money for Scranton was Jim Levin, senior from Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. They have a veteran team. They have 7 starters or seniors on the Scranton team.
I was going to make that mention earlier that of the 2 teams, Scranton is the older.
Throw in for Babson. No score. Fisher off to Stento. Stento to John DeMambro. Comes out deep now.
Very good one-touch passing by Babson. Not letting the ball settle anywhere, move it around really quickly, keep Scranton on their toes, and you make things happen that way.
Scranton able to head off Stento on this play. Stento tripped the Scranton player trying to come back upfield, and it's a free kick for the Scranton Royals. Tripped up on the play was number 10 for Scranton, Don DeValerio.
Now, why was there a foul? Let's look at it and see if we can find out why. The foul will be called on the Babson player who chopped his right leg at the ankle of the Scranton guy. The ball wasn't there, and there was just a foul called.
He got leg and no soccer ball on that, so that's why the foul was called. Comes up to around the midfield spot. Clock says 16.5 minutes remaining in a scoreless first half as Scranton turns it back to the keeper. Tough to really get your picture offense going on a day such as today. Just
No.
the field conditions. Very, very muddy.
Just take a look at this field. You look from end to end, it looks like they played a football game here.
There's no question that the goal that Babson is defending is by far much worse for mud and wear and tear. And it'll be interesting to see when the teams switch sides in the second half if Babson is able to turn it around to their advantage on offense. Here come the Beavers. Lead for Van Berg coming in from the right side. He's got a man right out in front, and his shot goes wide. He had Bob LeBlanc right out front. Van Berg with the cross, and it goes wide to the
That could have been
right.
the championship winner right there. Van Berg coming in on the right wing. He's got to cross it here. He sees the man LeBlanc open. Sends a nice cross. LeBlanc settles it down and was intimidated just a little bit as McNeil decided to come charging out. Now watch McNeil come charging out at the ball. LeBlanc is there. He's got all that room to shoot. And shoots it wide. And that could have been the championship winner. The way these two teams are playing, it could easily be 1-0 at the end of this. We got a substitution and we're back live.
That's Dennis McBride, a senior from Philadelphia, coming into the game for the Scranton Royals. That was a golden opportunity, as Babson certainly had its best opportunity, and as a matter of fact, the best opportunity for either team in the game. Bob LeBlanc going one-on-one against the keeper, Bill McNeil, and unable to capitalize on it.
Gary Newcomb is also in the lineup for Babson. Billy's another tall guy. So Babson going with some height up front. They put in Van Berg and now Newcomb, and they've got some added inches up front.
Okay, here comes Scranton now with its counterattack. Haley, the big guy, and the ball goes off the side of his foot right to number 13, John Sisk. He can't do much with the pass, though. Comes back to midfield where John Sexton has a swipe at it. This throw-in belongs to Babson. Off the head of Van Berg. Comes to the top of the box, long clearing boot. Goes back to the Babson half. Scranton able to ward off the attack here by the Babson Beavers. Little mid-air collision there, and a foul is whistled up against the Babson Beavers.
Well, this weather hasn't kept anyone away. There's a single line of people surrounding the entire field, below us, around us, far side in the stands, as we'll get another look at the foul here. Ball's up in the air. Both guys have an even shot at it.
Oh,
A lot of contact there.
that's smarts.
This is an advantage rule. You know, both guys are supposed to have an equal opportunity at the ball, and one guy oversteps his bounds and trying to get advantage, and that's where the whistle comes in.
Back to live action. Good defense again by the Beavers. This one made by number 10, Kevin Bryant. Good play as he had Mark Haley bearing down on him. From the near touch, throw in for the blue-clad Scranton Royals, who stand 21-2-1 for the season. They've won 4 times in the NCAA tournament, plus 2 wins to decide the Middle Atlantic Conference. They had to win their Northern Division and then the overall championship by beating Haverford. It was a good ball directed by De Silva, but nobody there to get the pass for Scranton, and Babson comes the other way. Jim Stendo, number 11. John DeMambro in the center of the field. Here comes Crines back on defense for the Royals, but he lets his teammate go after the ball. That is number 4, Art Collier. And here comes Scranton.
The thing about both these teams is that there are your leading goal scorers and your leading scorers, but it doesn't seem to me that there are any superstars on either one of these teams. They're both very evenly matched at most of the positions, and all the players are trying to work well together.
If anything, the most dominant player in the dominant players in the game have to be those 2 big guys, Van Berg and Haley, the guys that they're looking to get it to. Good through, nice push through by Crines. Then good defense on the part of the Beavers. Kicks over the goal line, though. It's going to be a corner kick here.
It's twice Crines has taken it to the goal line with a cross. Let's see if they go long.
Corner kick number 4 coming up here for the Scranton Royals.
There's another dog there. They're alternating dogs in the corner.
All right, here comes the serve out front. Good ball, and the keeper is there to take it out of the air as Haley was bearing down for a possible header.
On those long, high corners, you give everyone an equal opportunity to set up under the ball. And for the team that's taking the corner kick, it's kind of wasted.
There's your moon again, Al. Look at that. How about that? Slop right out in front of the keeper for Babson, Brian Cahill. When we get a chance, we're going to take you back and show you some great one-on-one play. A good kick through on the part of Scranton. Watch this.
Crimes of Scranton. Second time in the game goes to the goal line. Look at the ball control. Keeps it close to his body. It's under control at all times. Steps on it with the sole of his foot and does, embarrassing thing. Defenders hate that when you go between your legs.
Bob LeBlanc got victimized on that one.
He'll get him back later. You'll see.
Bob, unless he can come up with some spectacular play, might be the subject of a couple of points in the dressing room, I would think. Had a good one-on-one opportunity and missed it, went wide on the net, and then had that kick-through performed against him.
Yeah, it's not going to be a first half that LeBlanc is going to want to remember for a very long time. He missed an easy goal and then has someone put the ball between your legs.
It's under 11 minutes remaining. Scoreless first half for the Division III championship between Babson and Scranton. This foul called against the Babson Beavers. Pushing, and we get a free kick for the Royals. Jim Levin, number 5, will take the free kick.
I think the most popular guy here at Babson today is the guy that's running the barbecue for the hot dogs at the refreshment stand.
There's Bill Rogers. We were talking about how comfortably he was dressed for the weather. He's
coat
not
on,
cold.
Bill.
What do you mean? This is Florida, right? It's all in your head. We're going to get another corner kick now for the Scranton Royals. This will be their 5th of the game. Incidentally, they have had 5 shots on goal in the first half. We get a chance, we'll contrast that with the shots on goal. 5-4 is the way it stands right now. And corner kick stand looks like 6-1, 6-0, no corner kicks.
Here we go.
Corner served up, and Babson defenders all over it. Coming out deep on the recovery is Dennis McBride, fighting for the ball and winning it back for Scranton. Then he puts it up into the air, and coming along is the Babson keeper, Cahill. Wisely, the defense allowed it to go right back to him.
You know, people might look at a play like that where the two players both hit the ball. They both almost fell down and say, why wasn't there any foul on that particular play? Well, the reason is that the ball was there, both kicked, they both hit the ball, there was no legs involved, and that's why. It looks like the 19th green at...
I was going to say, I take divots like that on some of my iron shots. Divot goes farther than the ball in many cases. On defense is Bryant, number 10 for Babson. Steal, and they're going to turn it back to the keeper.
I'm sorry, we had a look at Bill Rogers before. Not many players get to do what he did. He played for this school, was a super player here, and eventually got to coach the team he played for. It's got to be a dream of everyone for a team that they played on to become the coach eventually.
But he wants to be a TV star, as we saw at the head of the show. There's
That's right,
Bill
he was
Rogers.
pretty good.
Did a fine job in summarizing what they want to do. They're here to defend that championship they won last year in Trenton, New Jersey.
It's his 3rd year as head coach. He's won the New England Championship all 3 years.
Von Berg had the ball taken away from him, but the Beavers trying to get it back. Now Rogers, as you see, is jawing away at, well, who is he jawing away at? His team, the officials?
Looked like the linesman. That's how he stays warm.
That's Art Ham that he was confronting. John Buckley is the referee, and the other linesman is Steve Rossetti. 3 officials working this championship game. In the event of a tie at the end of regulation, they will go to sudden death overtime. They'll play as many as 4 15-minute overtimes. And we'll just double check on that because sometimes situations are changed for championship games, and because of existing sunlight or lack of.
This is a pretty brutal foul we're going to see here. And this could almost warrant at least a caution or a talking to by the referee. Both kicking at the ball. One's definitely got position, and the other guy just comes up from behind and keeps coming and knocks the other guy down.
Back to the live action of a scoreless first half here at Babson. De Silva with the ball at midfield, but not for very long. Right behind him is John DeMambro. That is he, number 4 with it. Serves it up on the right side. And Babson trying to take advantage of this, and foul. Foul against the Babson Beavers, says referee John Buckley. And the free kick for the Royals just outside of the box.
Every once in a while, there's a foul call you can question. That goes down as one of the 1 or 2 we've had in the game so far. This is not an easy game to referee, though, because of the unsure footing, the way the players can just move erratically and fall down of their own accord. Buckley's an experienced referee. He's calling a good game so far.
Jim Fisher, number 16, was the guy who was trying to use that pass, and they call a foul against him. Coming in from the right side on the right wing is for Scranton, number 9, Carlos Lorero. And we get whistle blown and a foul called against Scranton.
Charging inside. Possession of the ball. Position. Knocked down from behind. Clear foul.
before the trip, of course, which you see at the end of the shot. Then that's when the push happened, and obviously the call going against Scranton, as it should have. So we get the kick here for Babson. We're down to about 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half and scoreless.
That was Kevin Bryant of Babson, who's coming into your picture right there. He was the one that was just fouled in the last play, and he's been limping in the last couple of minutes.
He has a bad leg to begin with, I guess, and his condition physically is a key to Babson's defense, no question. He and Connolly are two of the keys on defense. That is Connolly trying to get it, and it goes off the foot of Scranton's number 21, Dennis McBride. Throw in for the Beavers.
We have 6 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first half, Lou, and still no score, and really only one very dangerous opportunity that Babson couldn't convert.
And now Scranton is able to head off that attack as Fisher was bearing down from left wing, but passed a little bit too long. We might mention that Bill Schellenberger, the coach of Lynchburg of Virginia, is here and is part of the NCAA Division III committee, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with him at halftime. Well, you'll see NHL hockey here on ESPN as the Los Angeles Kings are off to a red-hot start this year with only 3 losses in their first 14 games. Will take on the Hartford Whalers at the Hartford Civic Center Coliseum, Hartford, Connecticut. You'll see it on Saturday, December 13th, 7:30 Eastern. De Silva out front, almost had a header. Good play on the defense as number 14 for Scranton, Tom McGill, went after the ball, and foul is called against Scranton.
Let's see if we can find out why there was a foul called here. Ball comes inside, it'll go to De Silva right about the penalty spot. And a nice play by Kreins here going to the goal line. This guy's good when he sees the goal line. Good reverse kick to get it back in front of the net. Waiting for it is De Silva.
It was actually pretty surreal because the beginning of the tournament, because we weren't a real high seed, we had to travel to Westfield State, which was double overtime, and then we went to Brandeis and it was triple overtime. So we played those games away, and then we came back and we played Binghamton, which is Jimmy and Kevin Bryant's hometown. And when they talk about here, just that, you know, it's the entire community, that game was won by, you know, the people that worked at the facilities, because the field, in the soccer terms, looked like a field of dreams. There was snow all around it. Wow. The touch line, there was just like maybe 3 or 4 yards. And ironically, Jimmy's brother played on Binghamton, and he said when they got off the bus and they saw the field, it was over. And so, you know, I just, you know, I think that, and then, you know, looking at, you know, John Sisk's goal and just the sheer jubilation of being able to share it with the people here that had, you know, made such a difference over our career. So I think it was really cool.
Box chase by Scranton's Carlos Lorero, and they're able to get it out of trouble.
Now, soccer's a weird game. You work all game to get a line drive cross to go right through the penalty area, and when you do, no one touches it.
Yep, they had Fisher there, number 16, and Von Berg, number 8. They were looking to connect up. Neither was there. Throw in for Babson is by Mark McNabb. They'll make another try. Royals will take this back to their keeper.
Well, see, there's a good illustration of the throw-in. Why not go inside to someone close and set the play up again, just like you did the play before, to get that good cross? Instead, they go ahead and they give it right back over to Scranton.
Bill McNeil from Wall, New Jersey, a sophomore. The keeper for Scranton, who has 13 shutouts this season. In fact, they have allowed as many as 2 goals in a game only once this season. Their defense has really been extremely tough. And so, of course, have the Babson Beavers. That's why both of these teams are meeting for this Division III championship. 2:50 left now, first half, as they get it into De Silva. He gets it back to midfield, knotted up there by Van Berg. Trying for the steal for Babson is number 2, Mark Silva. Goes back to Scranton again. Wow, what a collision there between number 11 for Scranton, Eric Nuttall, number 13, John Sisk for the Babson Beavers. 2.5 minutes remain as we get this throw in from the near touchline by the Scranton Royals. Number 4 about to make the play, Art Collier. He's going to go back, try to get some room on this throw in. There it is, and coming out. Very dangerous play, but a good play finally as the keeper for Babson, Cahill, was able to get it out of trouble with a man right out in front of him, number 8, Bob Hernandez.
Good play by Brian Cahill, who used to be a midfielder and is now a goalkeeper for Babson. He's doing well. He's only given up just over half a goal a game. Jumps over the head, stays with it, ball drops down. Good save.
Excellent save, because had that ball been loose, Hernandez would have had an easy tuck in and would have had our first score of the game. Scranton turning it back to goal now. The only man attacking there for Babson was Mark Silva. Bill McNeil looking to clear now. Minute and a half remaining, first half. Punt coming up to midfield. Stento brings it down from the chest. Gets it out of trouble, clears over to his left. Down to Van Berg, the big sophomore from Belgium. Keeps it in.
He doesn't run, he lopes.
Pretty graceful guy. Babson on the attack. Final minute of this first half. Off a Scranton leg, throwing again for the Babson Beavers. Mark McNabb will make it. See if they can do anything in this final minute. Scoreless, headed away by the Scranton defender, and a push off against Babson, elbowing. And we get a free kick here for Scranton. They hope to keep it out of trouble here in the final 45 seconds of this first half. Babson nothing, Scranton nothing for the Division III title. Won 2 years running by Lock Haven State of Pennsylvania. That precluded Scranton's from even being there because they never could get by Lock Haven. And then last year, Babson won it by beating Glassboro 2-1. This year, Lock Haven moves on to Division II. Glassboro was beaten by Babson in the semifinals. Today, salvaged third place by beating Washington University of St. Louis, Missouri. Final in that game, third place game, was 1-0. We're going to get that countdown now. 10 seconds remaining. Throw in. Scranton's not going to be able to do much with this. De Silva has it with 3 seconds to go. Stolen from behind, and time will run out. That's the end of the first half of play here at Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts, with a score, scoreless. Babson nothing, and the nothing. ESPN will be back with more of the NCAA Division III championship game here at Babson College right after these words.
Welcome to the beautiful campus of Babson College, located 14 miles west of Boston. Our athletics department features 22 varsity programs, and we are proud of our tradition of success. We are home to 5 Division III national championships and have sent 16 of our programs to the national postseason since 2015. The $52 million state-of-the-art Babson Recreation and Athletics Complex is home to the Beavers' 22 varsity programs. Completed in the summer of 2019, BRAC includes a 3-court recreation center, a 2-story fitness center complete with cardio and strength training equipment, and updated locker rooms for all teams. The new 75,000 square foot space also features a new athletic training room, film room, and multi-purpose spaces for athletics and community events. Stocky Gymnasium, home to Babson's men's and women's basketball and volleyball programs, also went through a renovation last summer that included a newly redesigned floor, composite bleachers, and hand-sewn banners. The indoor track overlooks the gym and the department's varsity-only weight room, the Lunder Performance Center, while the new Hintley and Family Indoor Golf Performance Center sits next to Lunder. Morse Pool, which is home to the Beavers' men's and women's swimming and diving programs, is across from the Roger Enrico PepsiCo Pavilion. Adjacent to BRAC is Babson's Outdoor Facilities Complex. Field hockey and the men's and women's lacrosse programs play at McDowell Field. Hartwell Rogers Field features one of the top natural grass surfaces in the country for men's and women's soccer, and Alumni Field is home to the softball program. The Beavers' new state-of-the-art 8-court lighted tennis facility is a short walk from the softball complex, and down the hill is the Babson Skating Center, which houses the men's ice hockey program. A short walk from the upperclassmen residence halls and accessible from Route 135 is Gavoni Field, the home of Babson's baseball program. Finished prior to the fall of 2019, Babson Commons at Horn Library is home to technology-enabled classrooms, the Stephen D. Cutler Center for Investments and Finance, and academic resources such as the Math, Speech, and Writing Centers. Opened in the fall of 2019 during Babson's centennial celebration, Carrie Murphy Healy Park celebrates the college's long-standing commitment to global diversity and impact. The park features the iconic Babson World Globe, the Centennial Walkway, and the Fountain of Flags as a show of respect to Roger Babson in his dream of appreciating the world as a whole. Located across from the Globe, the Reynolds Campus Center is a hub for on-campus activity. Whether visiting the campus bookstore, checking your mail, grabbing a bite to eat at Crossroads Cafe, or just relaxing, Ray's is a popular hangout for students, staff, and professors. Opened in 2018, the Weissman Foundry provides a creative space for individuals, groups, and entrepreneurial startups to collaborate, experiment, and build. The Foundry has the tools and resources needed to take ideas and concepts to the next level. The Park Manor Quad, located just off College Drive, is home to 4 residence halls, a newly renovated green space, and the Schlesinger Innovation Center, which was specifically designed for work in foundations of management and entrepreneurship classes. 2 of the oldest buildings on campus, Tommaso Hall and Knight Auditorium, are both identified by their iconic pillars. Knight was one of the first buildings constructed at the college in the 1920s, while Tommaso served as Babson's library from 1939 to 1980 before becoming one of the main academic buildings on campus. When you arrive on campus, one of the first buildings you see on the corner of College Drive and Map Hill Drive is Trim Dining Hall. The main dining hall at Babson, Trim received a facelift in 2016 that included the opening of the new Rogers Pub and Grill Room. Thank you for joining us on our virtual tour. We are looking forward to seeing you on campus in the near future. Go Babbo!
The Babson Beavers, since the start of Division III play, have won 17 of 19 tournament games. They won the championship in '79. There are the Beavers as they break their huddle as we are set to begin the second half. They take on the Scranton Royals after the 2 teams battle to a scoreless tie in that first half. Al, it's going to be a little change of goal here, and this time it's going to be Scranton at the sloppier end of the field.
Well, still the wind is coming towards us, so the wind won't be a factor either way. But as you said, it is much, much sloppier down the other end of the field. I think an important thing to make note of right here is the marking of John Zisk on De Silva of Scranton. He's been marking him out of the game. The 2 or 3 times that I remember De Silva getting the ball, he was overly aggressive and got called for a foul twice. So they've shut down De Silva. That's hurt Scranton up front. Meanwhile, Babson has brought up 2 big players, led by Rudy Von Berg. He's been added some great things on the right wing. 2 or 3 times he's come down on the right wing with some nice crosses and a lot of hard work. Babson so far has had the only real good scoring opportunity. And the question I'd like to ask you, Lou, is why are we in Siberia? It's cold.
Well, it is cold in New England at this time of the year. It started out on the pleasant side when the sun was out, but that has long since gone, and we're underway with the second half. Scranton in the blue uniforms and in the white home uniforms, the Babson Beavers. 3rd time, incidentally, they've hosted the championship, and they have never won the championship in front of their home folks, even though they have 2 prior Division III championships. A foul called against the Beavers. Free kick on the right wing now for the Scranton Royals as they hustle up offensive players down to the penalty box area, and they kick it right to the goalkeeper. Not a very good pass, not a very good free kick, and the keeper for the Babson Beavers, Brian Cahill, able to handle it. Both keepers officially credited with 1 save apiece. There were 6 shots on goal apiece in the first half. 5 corner kicks for the Scranton Royals as opposed to 1 for the Babson Beavers, and both teams committing 10 fouls in the first half. So they're pretty even with the exception of corner kicks. That's the one statistic that Scranton dominated 5-1 over Babson.
They can thank Mike Krynes for that. He's taken it to the goal line 3 or 4 times, and they've gotten corners out of about 2 of them. Those corner kicks are dangerous, especially in a weird field like this.
Throw in for Babson, deep in the left-hand corner. And the linesman indicates here that we're going to have a foul call. A foul against Scranton, and we see why. Here's the pass.
Well, the ball is loose. Both players have an opportunity to go there, but there's just a little tanglement of legs and a little bit of an unfair advantage in going after the ball, and that's why we have this corner.
And dangerous right out front, finally cleared away, and the keeper's down for Scranton. Getting up very slowly, Bill McNeil being helped up.
Well, a lot of contact. Well, you know, I think I say this every time I do a soccer game, but it's when the goalkeeper goes up to make a 2-handed save that he leaves himself most wide open to injury, and that's because he's not protecting any part of his body and can't because he's concentrating on the ball. And he jumps up in the air and he's got a player hit him like that, and that's why the referees called a quick whistle, because the goalkeepers are very vulnerable at that particular time.
How right you were when you say how much Van Berg has added to the quality of the attack here for Babson. He's able to give them a little dimension they didn't have when he was not in the game. That's that good height. He's all around that keeper. Always a threat, bringing it in from either wing. Most times it's been the right wing. That time he happened to be right out in front, and could have been a very dangerous situation, but they were able to handle it. Scranton nothing, Babson nothing, just underway second half. Stento serves it down to the top of the box. The Royals are there to finally head it off. Ball is loose, though, and cleared away by the Scranton Royals, again out of trouble. Babson's had a couple of good opportunities here, good position at any rate, and some space, but not able to really connect. Nobody as yet able to finish one off. We remain scoreless.
Poor Bob LeBlanc, who had that open net early in the first half. I wonder what he was thinking at halftime, because as this game continues to move on and we see what a defensive posture the game is taking, one goal could have been all the difference in the world.
That really was a career opportunity. You go whole careers and don't get an opportunity like that. The Scranton player tripped on the play, and it's going to be a free kick for the Royals just over on their half of the field.
I'll tell you what, if LeBlanc had scored it, he wouldn't be buying his own dinner tonight.
Well, we've got a whole 40-some-odd minutes, about 41-40, for something to happen in this game. And, you know, oftentimes when a guy is a goat like that, that's Bill Rogers, the coach of the Babson Beavers, chatting with Art Ham, who's the linesman.
I'm convinced he's fooling everybody, that his shirt and his pants are electrified and they're warmer than anything I have on.
Free kick here for Babson in the white on their half. Well, we're told that the attendance here is over 3,000. I got to take my hat off, but I won't because I'm very comfortable with this hat. But over 3,000 showing up on a day such as today, they're pretty hardy soccer fans. Bryant going after the ball, number 10 for Babson. Then a missed kick by number 13, John Sisk. Ball is up for grabs. Comes back out to midfield, brought down from the chest by John DeMambro. Defensive play there made by Scranton's number 16, Ken Ryman. De Silva gets it upfield, intending to hit Mark Haley. Getting in the way and then carrying the ball over the touchline is Tim Connolly. It'll be a throw-in once again for the Scranton Royals as they try to continue on this attack. Both teams still looking for the first goal of the game. And the way this game has gone, Al, one goal is maybe all they'll need, either team.
And I'll tell you what, it won't be a beautiful goal either. It'll be something just crazy is going to happen.
They go down trying to connect with Haley. Good defense by, I believe was that Connolly who came in and made the play? No, it was Fisher who made the play on defense for Babson. Oh, that was almost it. That was almost it. Haley, and they'll get a corner out of this because it was deflected by the keeper, Brian Cahill.
Well, that evens the score as far as good opportunities go, and it was just what we were talking about, Lou. The ball just skipped through. It took a strange bounce in the mud, kept in by Scranton. We've got a corner kick up coming here in just a second. It just went through the legs there.
There's
just
Haley,
wide.
just wide. Almost caught the corner, and it would have been 1-0. Scranton's sixth corner kick of the game for the Royals. Right out front looking for Haley. Knotted away by the defense of the Beavers. Van Berg was there. Comes outside the penalty box. Babson desperately trying to get it back on defense and then kick it back up to midfield, which they do. And the Royals continue on. Down the left side for Tom McGill, number 14. Back out to Jim Levin, number 5. Up ahead of him, Don DeValerio. And here comes an attack by the Scranton Royals. Stento unable to intercept.
Watch how patient Scranton is here.
Tom McGill on left wing, teeing the ball up. Swiped away, knocked out. Throw in for the Royals on the near side. Going after the throw in will be Art Collier. The Bloomfield, New Jersey senior will put it in play here. 38-45. 38-45 remaining as Art Collier puts it in play. Winds up, let's go with a two-hander, and the ball is loose out front, kicked out of the box by Babson. Another throw in from the near touchline, and once again Collier will make the throw.
You know why Collier's taking these throw-ins, don't you? It's because he can get it inside the penalty area like that.
And there it is, right out loose again. Kicked out of there with De Silva back at the top of the area. Sisk all over him, as you pointed out. He's done a great job. They tried to connect with Haley that time. Sails over his head, over the goal line, and a goal kick for the Babson Beavers.
The thing we notice here is that Scranton's controlling the play as we have 38 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the second half. Babson's got to turn the game around, and their transition from defense to offense has not been a brisk one, Lou. They've been sitting back in their own half of the field, more content on stopping Scranton than they are with creating their own opportunities. They've given Scranton a lot of time to set up the ball, and that can only prove harmful to the Babson attack.
Scranton blue uniforms surrounding it, but a pickoff by Babson. as they struggle for possession. That foul is called against number 13 of Scranton, who will be Jim Crines. There are 2 Crineses on this club, Jim and his brother Mike. And so far, the sophomore Mike has been a little bit more impressive. In fact, a lot more impressive than his older brother, the senior.
You know what they say about youth?
Yeah. Youth must be served. Right side, Van Berg, across the goal mouth. Almost out of the penalty area, but there is a good block by the Royals. Going after it, the Babson Beavers try to save it, and on the ball was number 13, John Sisk. Goes over the goal line, touched last by Scranton, so it's a corner kick coming up for the Babson Beavers, and that's going to be their 2nd corner kick of the game, first here in the 2nd half.
Rudy Van Berg making things happen again, streaking down the right side. Nice cross, just a little bit too much on it. But on the off wing, there was no defense there, and had someone been able to get to the ball, it would have been a good shot. Here comes the corner.
Okay, they've got Van Berg in there. They've got Mark Silva, and on the ball is Don DeValerio. Kicks it back out. There's Bryant. Long try on goal. And he was also trying to hit Fisher coming down to the keeper's left. That was it was a good attempt.
Good thought here, because the ball goes all the way out to near midfield, and the defense goes out there to try and meet the ball. And they try to get the ball inside and behind the defense. The shot was taken by Kevin Bryant. Good thought here by Bryant, just a little bit too much on it. You see how the whole defense was moving up towards Bryant with the ball. That was almost an offside there.
All right, back to live action. It remains scoreless with a little over 36 minutes remaining in regulation. We're in the 2nd half of this Division III championship game from Wellesley, Massachusetts, and hosted by Babson College, the defending champion. Goal kick here for Bill McNeil. Scranton bringing the ball down in the person of number 10, Don DeValerio. His through ball picked off by the Babson defender, John DeMambro. DeMambro is a Yukon transfer from the University of Connecticut. He hails from Newton, Massachusetts, which is a 9-iron from here. Very, very close. Well, if you hit a long 9-iron.
Must be some golfer.
If you hit one 3 miles or so. Down the right sideline.
The game is not exactly what I'd call goal line to goal line. Each team is taking about 2 or 3 minutes at a turn with possession of the ball in the opponent's half of the field. Scranton had their chance. Now Babson had theirs, and we'll see if Scranton's going to have theirs coming up in just a second again.
Jim Crines made a nice steal there, number 13 for the Scranton Royals from number 16, Fisher, for Babson. Play is on. There was some contact there, but no particular advantage. And it goes to the keeper. So Babson's keeper now can do what he likes with it here. Choose to punt or to just distribute. And he's going to take the punt.
Well, Lou, it's a good thing baseball doesn't start up right after this game is over, because in front of that goal area off to our left is center field. That's pretty well chopped up.
From behind, a steal by Van Berg again. Down the right side, the pass a little bit too long. The throw in for the Scranton Royals. As you see there, you see some of the crowd and one of the fans with soccer ball, which you don't keep, by the way, as a souvenir. That would be very gauche. I tried to do that, you recall, last year when we were doing the Army-Navy game.
That's right. I turned you in, too.
Yes. Been meaning to talk to you about that ever since, Al. 34 minutes remaining in regulation. The goal kick by Bill McNeil for the University of Scranton. Standing 21-2-1 coming up to this championship game. Babson 15-3-1. A run now by the Scranton Royals. Jim Crines takes it down toward De Silva. They haven't been able to shake him very much all day. De Silva unable to do what he likes with the ball. Yesterday he was able to.
That was Sisk again on him.
Boy, he's done a great job. You're right. Art Collier, number 4, over on the right touchline. They're spreading out the Babson defense a little bit better here, though, Al, in the 2nd half. There's a push from behind, a very clear foul on Mark McNabb for the Babson Beavers. So just outside the box, a free kick for the Scranton Royals. Yes, they're doing a fine job on that young man, De Silva, who has really been bottled up.
I'll tell you, you got a player like that, you can mark him all game, and it's the one time you leave him open that he'll knock one in.
Sisk has done the job. There's the header by Haley, and it sails out to the keeper's left, and it's going to be a goal kick. So their strategy, you know, get it up there and let Haley try to head it in. And here it is again.
Well, the free kick is taken. It goes up in the air. A decent header here. This one didn't miss by as much as you might have thought. And it just did go wide. A little bit more of a spin on it. That would have been in on net simply because of the fact the wind was blowing against that header.
This stage, when you are scoreless and you have about 32.5 minutes to go, what you just try to do is just connect up with the tallest guy out there. That's like the old kids game. You know, you go way downfield, now throw it to the biggest guy and the fastest guy. It's just the way it's working out here.
I mentioned about Cedric De Silva a minute ago and how the one time you leave him open, he'll knock one in. That's the mark of a great forward, because a great forward is going to get the best defender on him for every single game. So it's just a matter of working and working and working to try to get that one opening.
Good ball.
Here he
lead.
is.
Here comes De Silva on the left side. His shot on goal, and a tricky one, but able to be handled by Cahill. Good ball, a fine lead by number 18, Mark Haley, for De Silva, and we will watch it again.
Oh, he got 2 steps here, and that's all he needed. Sisk is trying to catch up with him. De Silva didn't get everything he wanted on this shot. A good left-handed, left-footed shot. But anything could happen on the crazy bounces on that mud.
All right, De Silva frustrated, and everybody frustrated at this point. Scoreless tie continues with 31.5 now to go in regulation. Royals defending. They've had a little bit better of the offense, I think, in the last 6-7 minutes of the second half. And Babson trying to get into the flow of it offensively, and here they do on the side. Silva. And we get another corner. That's going to be corner number 3 of the game.
Oh, defensive mistake deep in their own half of the field. Babson, Scranton rather, will give up a corner right here. Babson, we've got 31:05 left to go. Still no score.
Van Berg is way out at the top of the box. I think he'll be swinging in now. You watch it. Here it comes, and it is headed away by the Scranton defense, but Fisher's got it. Pushes it off on the right side to John Sisk. Sisk tries to save it in, and I think it's going to be a goal kick. No one touching it from Scranton. So Sisk unable to set anybody up right out in front of the keeper, and it remains scoreless at 30-40 remaining in regulation.
Good corner kick, though. Low line drive, the type of corner you like to see. They just couldn't convert it into anything.
All right, we're going to look right there at John DeMambro, who was shaken up a little bit earlier. I think he has recovered all right. DeMambro is one of the 2 transfers to Babson from the University of Connecticut, which of course plays a Division I schedule, and we've done quite a few UConn games.
He's another player that's had a position switch. He used to be a defender, now he's playing midfield.
We might mention that Bob Hartwell, the former coach and now the athletic director at Babson, is a former University of Connecticut player himself. Played for a longtime coach there named Jack Squires. And of course nowadays Joe Maroney Sr. who's done such a fine job with those UConn Huskies. But back to this Division III action with less than 30 minutes to go in regulation, and Van Berg not able to save that one in before it goes fully over the touchline, and the throw in here will go to the Scranton Royals. That's Van Berg, a sophomore out of Belgium who's just been getting better and better in late games with his Babson team.
It was really a community event. I ran into people years later, kids who came to the game and watched the games because it was a Saturday, Sunday game, and the conditions were awful. I mean, that semifinal game, it poured and it was cold, and Glassboro State guys went off with hypothermia, and it showed that, just the resilience of this team staying and fighting.
Header. Beg your pardon, not Haley, but number 16, Ken Ryman. Ball coming into De Silva. Again, strategy-wise, you look for the driest side of the field that you can find. That's what evidently they're doing.
I felt pretty good when we had Mr. Schellenberger up here, and he said the same thing that we had alluded to in the first half. Use the wings.
Number 11 coming back. Top of the box. Number 24, Babson, is Bob LeBlanc, who missed that golden opportunity in the first half, trying to atone. There's Stento, good ball on the left side. The header taken out of the air by the keeper. Almost another good opportunity there for Babson as they were looking for Silva, bearing down on the keeper, taking it out as Bill McNeil for Scranton.
Stento, leading scorer, is going to get a very good opportunity as we're going to look at it again inside the penalty area. A good high ball that Stento, if it had just been a little bit more of a line drive, Stento would have had a better opportunity on it, but the ball was a little bit too high. And by the time the ball came down, Stento had already lost the position that he had garnered inside the penalty area. We'll see it here. It's going to come off of LeBlanc, who you said missed it, who helped set up this cross in front. Good try by Stento, but the keeper McNeil is right there.
All right, back to live action as we watch Art Ham, the linesman, with Bill Rogers, the head coach of the Babson Beavers. His team locked up in a scoreless duel, a nail biter. If you could reach your nails on a day like today, probably have them covered up with gloves. Crowd dressed as warm as they can to ward off the cold, and that it is. 27-15 remaining in regulation. Scoreless tie.
You know, yeah, when you do a game, you hate to keep mentioning, oh, the mud and the cold, but it's such a big factor in this game today. It is the two major factors, I think, in the game. You know, both teams are good. You know, they can both play. You know, they can both do what they have to do to win this game. But now you have two very big outside factors controlling the game, and it's unfortunate that the game's going to wind up like this, but both teams are doing a heck of a job out there today to play under conditions like this and get an exciting game going like the one we've had here so far.
I'd like to mention the WBA World Flyweight Championship can be seen here on ESPN on Saturday, December 13th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern from the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California. Flyweight champion Tasik Kim taking on the #1 contender Peter Methabula. You will see that Saturday, December 13th, 10:30 p.m. Eastern from the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, California.
I knew those two guys would get on ESPN.
Oh, yeah. The unpronounceable names, you're saying, right? All right, the ball sailing over the goal line and touched last by the Babson defender sets up a corner kick situation, #7 of the game, and the second here in the second half for the blue-clad Scranton Royals. Clock says 25, just under 26 minutes remaining. No score. A couple of good opportunities both teams have had to let it may take to win it. Oh, good punch by the keeper. Coming out, ground ball, and once again on it is the keeper, Bruce Cahill. He was in serious trouble there for a while.
Things are starting to loosen up just a little bit. Babson had some good opportunities down the other end of the field, and now this. Good slap save out of the box, and the keeper, Cahill, looked like he fell down, regained it, a shot in front, and he covered up beautifully with a Scranton guy climbing over his back, and that was #8, Bob Hernandez.
So both keepers have done a good job of distinguishing themselves here today. Even though the number of official saves credited is not a large number, they've had a lot of work to do. We're talking about the field conditions. That, of course, is the last line of defense, and those guys are just in real muddy conditions on both ends of the field. Foul whistled up here against the Babson Beavers, and Scranton gets the free kick. Jim Levin behind the ball now for the Scranton Royals. Scranton loading up that penalty area now with people. Goes over the head of De Silva on the right side. Kicked away by Babson, but only momentarily, coming back out once again to Jimmy Levin. De Silva gets his foot on the ball and once again cleared out of trouble. Back out to Levin. Long ball in the box. And a nice trap, good leg trap there by Sisk, who's done such a great job on De Silva. Able to save that ball for Babson. Von Berg has it now. Pushes it up ahead, stolen by Scranton's #11, Eric Nuttall. It's over the touch and the throw in for Babson. Fisher gets it in. Good steal, but he fouled in doing it. There was Nuttall for Scranton. Free kick again for the Babson Beavers.
We'll get another look at the foul here. A foul that after he blew the whistle, referee John Buckley had a big smile on his face. A lot of legs tangled up there.
Well, it wasn't grand larceny, but at least it was petty.
Yes.
Did not get away with it. The officials were there to nab him.
You know, Lou, I look at this game and I say to myself, 3 years ago, these two teams would have played for the national championship in total obscurity, but now things on national TV and it's Division III.
And some 3,000 fans live and on a cold day to watch it. Babson very heroically continuing on there is Bob LeBlanc as he just was going in and around people trying to get by him. Comes out to DeMambro, and it is pushed over the goal line. That one was a lot closer than it may have seemed, folks.
Not a bad shot from 25 yards out. It missed by about 6 inches. And as a result, Babson will get another corner kick. Settled out at the midfield line by DeMambro. Plays it off his outside of his right foot, creates his own open space. Good play by DeMambro and lets one go. And we'll see McNeil jump out of the screen, slaps it away. I guess it was wide by about a yard. Sure, it looked closer than that.
That's right, didn't miss by that much. 22.5 to go as we're back to live action now for the corner kick.
You don't shoot, you don't score unless you shoot.
Going to be their fourth. It's also the fourth save of the afternoon for the Scranton keeper. Unable to use it, and the ball is just a clearing kick coming all the way back to Connolly. Connolly pushes it down to the box now. Out to Von Berg on the right side. His shot over the crossbar.
Had that ball ticketed for the upper right corner. That one didn't miss by much. The game is certainly going from one team to the other, but not very quickly. Each team is taking a good, strong shot at having the ball in the other half of the field. Ball comes in. There's Big Von Berg waiting for it on the right side. And the shot
sails over the bar. Yep. And coming into the game, we have number 3 back in. That's Mike Crines, who played so well so early in that first half. Scranton takes it out of trouble. Well, you were so right when you said the momentum has really switched around from team to team in this second half.
It hasn't, and it hasn't been a fast change. That's the thing. It's been, all right, let's move the ball in. All right, we have our 3 or 4 minutes, and let's go back the other way, and they'll have their 3 or 4 minutes.
What the fans really were oohing and ahhing about there was Bob Hernandez as he back kicked it to his own keeper. He really drilled it. That would have been ironic, huh? To have an own goal there decide a national championship.
The connections that have been mentioned here, and it transfers from 75 to 76 all the way through. So that sort of bond that was there, and there was an expectation that started with Coach Hartwell, who I never played for, but was continued on through Coach Rogers. And I just think that the connectivity and the camaraderie that, we see these guys today, and it's been 40 years later, and it's like, I could have seen them yesterday, other than a few gray hairs, but,
Field. Babson player in pursuit is John Sisk. He'll throw it in very quickly, puts it onto the foot of John DeMambro. Knocked out from behind, again a throw in, this one just over the midfield marker. The policeman made that toss in.
A cop in.
Give him an assist. A cop in. Well, it's better than a cop out, right? Comes up ahead to Stento. And stolen again and pushed over to De Silva. Now from Crines, and unable to get by the Babson defender Connolly was number 14, Tom McGill.
Everybody for Babson right now is working extra hard. They're really pushing.
Look at this big guy. That's Von Berg. And that loose ball with people bearing down from both wings, finally taken out of trouble by Bill McNeil, goalkeeper for the Scranton Royals.
Babson's trying to do what no team has ever done, and that's win their 3rd Division III national championship. They won it 75 and 79.
Fisher
had 2 years in a row.
Fisher heading it toward the middle of the field. Goes off to number 16, Ken Ryman for Scranton. Now let's see whether the Royals come back with some momentum of their own on a counterattack here. Last 2.5, 3 minutes have fallen to Babson in the way of attack and aggressiveness, but it remains scoreless. No score, 19 minutes left in regulation. Foul is called on Babson, not a popular decision with the fans, but clearly a good call, and it's going to be a free kick here for the Scranton Royals just over the midfield line.
Well, Babson surely was controlling the play there for quite a number of minutes. They had a good, strong opportunities, and the work rate on the team was amazing. Everyone was really pushing, covering their man, covering for one another, winning the 50-50 balls at midfield, doing everything they had to do to keep the ball in their own half.
And the ball out to the top of the box, out to Newcomb. Here comes Newcomb spreading to the near side, number 6. Here at midfield, on the ball is Bob Hernandez, number 8. Now Stento, number 11, taking it down. Good return pass, broken up. Then he heads it up in front of him to try to keep that attack coming. And after that collision, got up a little slowly, but he's okay.
Well, Von Berg isn't. Holding his left ankle. And here's how Von Berg got hurt. At least I think this is the play where he got hurt. Ball comes loose, be some ankle kicking going on here. Stento tries to head it over to Von Berg, and there he twists his ankle on that play right there. But he's up and he's okay.
Back to live action now as the tempo certainly has picked up in the last couple of minutes as both teams realize that one goal may decide it. We get a foul called on number 6, Gary Newcomb, for Babson. He was obstructing, so we're going to get free kick for Scranton on their half of the field. Right now, to try to bring you up to date statistically, shots are 11 for the Babson Beavers as compared to 10 for Scranton, so pretty even in that department. Corners, I think, still belong to Scranton, something like, is it 6-4? 7-4. 7-4 on corner kicks. It was 5-1, though, in the first half. Scranton had the 5. Ball loose. Haley trying to connect. Good clearing boot by Babson. Running onto the ball is number 11, Nuttall. Nuttall feeds over to Haley at the top of the box. De Silva winds up with it as they try to kick it through. Beavers take it out of trouble. Over to Hernandez. To his right, to DeMambro. Long way away. He puts it on the ground. Babson unable to clear. They did get it away, though, from De Silva, and that was big. Here's Crines pushing off to the near side.
Strange feeling something's going to happen here.
11, as they load up that box, he swings it back in. The ball is headed away again by the Beaver defense. And it finally comes out, and unable to get by his man totally was Newcomb, but he gets the ball back. A steal. Here come the Scranton Royals. Tom McGill back in. Beavers are still not out of trouble. Scranton keeping it on the Beavers side. 16 minutes to go. Crines, lead ball, being chased, and that was touched last by the Scranton Royals. So it's like a couple of boxers. Here, you give me your best shot. I'll give you my best shot. We get a replacement now for Babson. Going out of the game is Holcomb, number 6. Mark Silva, number 2, is coming back in.
The guy with his knees all taped up.
And we got another substitution. Going out is Fisher, number 16 for the Babson Beavers. Returning is John Sexton, senior out of Barrington, Rhode Island.
How about the pressure on that man? Bill McNeil. And on
He
the other
was-
end, Cahill. It's all on the keepers now.
Sure was under a lot of pressure in the last couple of moments from Scranton. But Berg cut down along the near touchline. It's a free kick right at the touchline for the white-clad Beavers of Babson College, who are not only hosting this championship, but trying to defend the championship they won last year at Trenton, New Jersey. Behind the ball, John Sexton. Let's see what Babson can do with it. Haley gets it out of trouble, starts to run the other way. Long ball downfield, it races on De Silva. And Zisk, who has been shadowing him all day and done a fine job, but this time it goes over the goal line touch last by Babson's defenders, which will set up another corner kick, and that makes it number 8 of the game for Scranton. Their third here in the second half of play. You had that kind of queasy feeling something was going to happen the last time, and you just don't lose that feeling when Scranton is attacking here. Here's De Silva. Clearing boot for Babson by John DeMambro. Nuttall runs onto the ball. Mike Crines on the left wing. Tried that push through. This time it doesn't work. As the kick through, Sexton was ready for it. Nuttall down the side for Crines again. Good play as he controls. Good dribble. With De Silva right back to Crines. Crines lays it out front. Now they're looking for De Silva. And Babson able to once again handle it. Nuttall runs onto the ball. Tries to keep it alive and does. Crines on the left wing. Clock says 13:50 remaining in regulation. Very active there is Jim Crines, number 13. So the Crines brothers, along with Nuttall and De Silva, really controlling play. Meantime, they had their big guy, Haley, right out front looking for possible headers. Handball violation.
Handball by Crines deep in the corner. A lot of hard work by Scranton. You saw how they score their goals. Keep the pressure on. One-touch passing, work it around, and in the end, try to find De Silva.
And
Keep those hats on, folks.
And working on the dry side of the field, as you pointed out, Al. Trying to utilize whatever they can for any sort of strategic advantage. Both teams, of course, trying to do that, but here in the second half, the pendulum has swung back and forth. It's just been very difficult to keep up with that pendulum swing. It's gone from one team to another so rapidly within the past 5 minutes or so. Trip call against Stento.
That was a mistake. Should have let play go on. Scranton had a distinct advantage. Foul call was made, and Scranton continued with the advantage, and instead, Buckley stopped play.
Jim Crines And he was cut down on the play by Mark Silva. So the free kick is just outside of the box, about 5 yards outside the box. Remains scoreless. The Babson fans, well over 3,000 in attendance here. We're very excited about the Babson run of play about 5-6 minutes ago, but now all of a sudden it has swung back to Scranton, and we've got De Silva behind the ball, number 6. With Levin behind him and a 4-man wall set up by the Babson Beavers. We look at the wall and running over the ball, setting it up for De Silva, who kicks through. It's loose, it's out front, and wide. Ball still in play, though. Still in play on the right side for McGill. Kicked out of trouble momentarily as running onto the ball was Collier.
Handball.
And a handball has been called, so that's going to give the free kick to the Babson Beavers. They'll get him momentarily out of trouble, and they try to get that elusive thing called momentum back.
Absolutely incredible that this ball did not go in. I thought someone was going to put it in. De Silva puts the ball in play around the wall, goes in front, gets by the defense right there, still loose. Another shot taken by Crines. That goes wide. Ball stayed in play, and back we go the other way.
Okay, and back to the live action in white. The Babson Beavers trying to counterattack. Bearing down hard from the side is Bob LeBlanc. LeBlanc in the corner goes over the touchline. It's going to be Scranton possession. LeBlanc, who had probably the best opportunity of the game for Babson in the first half, has tried to make up with it here, make up for it, I should say, here in the second half. Unable to do it, but then again, nobody else has. The NCAA Division III Championship coming your way here on ESPN. We hope you're enjoying it. Lou Palmer along with Al Troutwig. Our score, 0-0. Sisk kicks it out with number 6, Cedric De Silva, bearing down. De Silva gets the pass. Steers it out of trouble. He leads it down for Dennis McBride on the left wing. He is dragged down, and we could get one here. No obstruction, so we're going to get inside the box.
Well, that could have easily been what we thought it was.
Yeah, could have been a penalty kick, but it's going to be just outside the box.
Now see,
no, it'll be in the box. I think.
All these teams, who have won the title, they know what it takes, what that special bond is that you have. And with the soccer, we just got a little bit bigger family here. We've got 3 teams, and we still get together and play golf and get to enjoy each other. But you'll never forget those days and the love that you have for each other. And it's very special, and it's great to have in your life.
Spectacular save. How did the ball not go in? Incredible. Reaching out one hand, Cahill made a spectacular stop.
well, this is the nail-biting excitement that championship games are made of. Comes outside. There's so many Scranton players here with an opportunity. A header, a tackle, a spinning around shot. That's blocked. That goes to the far side. They'll try it again. Here comes the save coming up by Cahill. It's still loose. Someone's going to get a foot down and try it. Finally, the shot is taken. Cahill still hasn't touched the ball, and the ball's only 6 feet away from him. There it goes, slapped out. Amazing.
That was the brilliant shot, and you'd have thought the rebound was going to be tucked in by somebody. Back to live now with 9 minutes remaining in the game. We'll start to say, as we have from time to time, in regulation, because the reminder that if it is tied at the end of regulation, they go to sudden death overtime. 15-minute overtime periods. First team to score would win it. And it very much looks like the first team to score in regulation might win it, because goals obviously have been hard to come by. Even attacks have been hard to come by in this game. The teams have played well.
Scranton's been controlling the play for quite some time now, and I'm just wondering at that point when Babson was working real hard and their work rate was really, really strong, whether they kind of shot their wad at that particular point, and Scranton kind of sat back, and maybe now they have the energy.
All right, let's see what does indeed happen. Hernandez breaks up the pass for Scranton, kicks it over the touchline, sets up a good throw in here for Babson. They get it quickly into play, looking for Von Berg, and it is intercepted. The intercept made by Nuttall. Here's Haley, the big guy, lays it down the left side, intending for De Silva. Pass too long, picked off. Connolly kicks it up. Goes over the head of Fisher, intercepted by Mike Crines. Lead pass, and cut down on the play. Number 5, Mark McNabb. Cuts down number 21, Dennis McBride. Free kick comes with about 7:45 remaining in regulation.
We've seen some super ball handlers on the field today. A lot of good ball control, good ball movement.
They're going to Haley. Haley goes up, heads it toward goal, and it is plucked out of the air by Cahill. But as you say, Babson has not done anything in the last few minutes to head off that momentum that Scranton has.
No, this is the time of the game where they got to really start thinking about doing something. Somebody's got to do something. 7:17 left to go. It's still plenty of time. Anything could happen, and something undoubtedly will.
Frostbite. That's what will happen.
Yes, that's already happened, Lou. I was going to ask you to look down and see if my legs were still there.
Here comes Crines on the attack. Lead ball for De Silva. As they went after it defensively, De Silva's got some space. He's engineering himself loose. It is blocked by the body of number 13, John Sisk. Ball loose. Sisk comes up with it. We get a foul against Scranton. Sisk really did a beautiful job that time. Got in the way of the shot by De Silva, who got himself into good position, set himself up for a shot.
Third close call for Babson on the defensive side. Scranton's had 3 good opportunities now. 3 strikes and you're out. Does Babson go back the other way? Scranton surely has had their opportunities to put this one away.
Here's De Silva. Here's Stento coming back now on the white for Babson. Has Fisher right out in front of him. Stento.
Scored a lot of goals this year.
Stento has the ball stolen from behind by number 10, Dom DeValerio. Downfield for Haley. Haley able to push through his man. Now with 2 men on him. Pushes through, nobody there to receive the pass, and it comes out to Jimmy Stento for the Babson Beavers. Downfield for Mark Silva. Here comes a good-looking opportunity now for Babson. Up to Van Berg on the right wing. Chased by Hernandez and Van Berg. Van Berg got it back momentarily, and then Hernandez kicked it over the goal line. It sets up a corner for the Beavers.
Well, that's what I call taking advantage of an opportunity. Babson only had 2 players back, and they made the most of it. Van Berg took it all the way to the goal line, and now a corner kick's coming up. 5.5 left in this one. This one's for the championship of Division III of this country.
5th corner kick of the game and 4th of the second half for the Babson Beavers. There's Van Berg swinging it right close to the goal. They go for the header. It's only a defensive header, though. The offense not able to get it through, I don't believe. I think we're going to have another corner. No, it's going to be a goal kick.
I don't know how that could have happened.
I thought it was a defensive header. I couldn't see it. There was a lot of people down in that area. But at any rate, Babson was hoping to get it back for another corner try. Unable to do so. With 4:50 remaining now in regulation, our scoreless tie stands. Scranton in blue coming back the other way now. That's the best half minute of play that Babson's had in a long time in this game. Scranton coming back in possession. Dennis McBride. McBride's pass broken up for the moment by McNabb, but Scranton gets it right back. Over the head of Haley. Haley gets it back. Twisting shot, ball loose along the ground, and finally Cahill is there. Don't take anything for granted on a field like that, right?
Well, they played 86 minutes so far. We've got about 4 left. And if anybody scores in this last 4 minutes, it's going to be heartbreaking for one team or the other. But surely I really believe that if anybody scores in the last 4 minutes, the game's going to be over.
Babson has played, I'll just check my arithmetic here, but I believe 9 overtime periods in the 4 preceding NCAA tournament games. They went 2 overtimes in one game, 3 in another, and 4 just yesterday when they played in the semifinals in a driving rainstorm. Free kick from about 30 yards away, and with 3:40 to go, Babson tries to get in there, but there are more defenders for Scranton than are attackers for Babson. Comes back out for John Sisk. All right, now here's Scranton's De Silva with it.
On Sisk.
And Sisk has just done a great job on him. Bearing down is McBride, and boy, that could have been dangerous because Cahill, as he came out, you could see him slide, but yet his hands were sure enough to get to the ball.
See, it didn't look like much, but you never know what's going to happen with the long ball like that. Here's De Silva moving on Sisk. So rather than moving in on Sisk, which you know he's had a hard time doing all day, he sends a long lead pass, splits to the defense. Now racing out as the goalkeeper and running in for Scranton is Dennis McBride. And McBride was just about a step behind that play.
Well, as you saw on the slide, Cahill almost completely lost it, but yet had the ball. That's the main thing. Lead pass on the side, behind Silva, trying to get loose.
Oh,
Crowd is calling.
I can't
for
believe
a
it.
foul. Crowd calling, and they may have a lot of justification, but the referee, John Buckley, says no. As Silva was in the box, it sandwiched, accordion by two players. You make up your mind.
Well, it certainly would be very sad to see this game end in a penalty kick, but that guy was fouled in the penalty area. That's all there is to it.
Yep, there's hardly too much to argue with there. 13 and 4, as you saw on the play, Crines and Collier. And you'd have to figure one of them committed the foul.
Well, we had one down this end earlier in the second half, Lou, and now we just got to even up at this end. Could have easily been Scranton's penalty kick about 15 minutes ago, and it could have easily been Babson's about 30 seconds ago. Well, neither of them got it, and we're still at no score.
And we have less than 2 minutes remaining in regulation now. Throw in for Scranton. The Scranton Royals, the Babson Beavers, meeting for the first time ever on the soccer field, and they are meeting for the national championship in Division III of the NCAA tournament. Here we have a steal by Babson. Nice steal by DeMambrose. He took it away from De Silva. Crines gets it right back, though. I like this guy. This Mike Crines, he just plays very well. He's a sophomore. We'll hear a lot more about him. Number 3 for the blue-clad Scranton Royals. Kick pushed up with 1:15 or so to go here in regulation. De Silva, number 6. A Scranton possible attack coming up. They lose it, though. Throw in for the Babson Beavers. 1 minute now remains in regulation. And you can hear perhaps some of those Babson Beaver fans exhorting their team to try to win this one in that final minute. They push it down. Fisher and Von Berg go for the header along the near side. Silva saves it in. Can't get it by his man, though, number 5, Jim Levin. Pushed back up for Von Berg, stolen by Nuttall, and here comes the Scranton team the other way. De Silva, lead ball for Crines. Here comes Crines with 30 seconds to go. Good slide tackle, kick away by Tim Conley. Clock keeps running, 23 seconds to go. It will be inbounded by Art Collier. They have Haley in there. They've got McBride in there, Crines in there, intending for Haley to pass a little bit too short. Long kick up to midfield. The clock says 9 seconds. Now 7 seconds remaining. We are going to go into overtime. So that's time. Regulation ends, and we are still scoreless between the Babson Beavers and the Scranton Royals. And you know, it's not one of those games where you look and you say scoreless and not much action. We have had a lot of action, particularly here in the second half, but it all adds up to this. Goose eggs.
That's exactly what we've had. So after 90 minutes, no one's been able to score.
We'll be back with more from Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts in the NCAA Division III Championship right after this. Or is it just Halloween a little late?
Well, it's 4 p.m. Does his mother know where he is?
Well, we know where we are. It's the Division III Championship, and we're going to the first overtime session. There's your story. It's a 15-minute sudden death. First team to score, and it's all over. Statistically, at the end of regulation, Scranton had 16 shots to 12 for Babson, 6 saves for the Babson keeper, 4 for Scranton's keeper, Bill McNeil, 6 for Cahill, 8 corners for Scranton, 5 for Babson. 21 fouls called against the Beavers and 19 against the Scranton Royals were underway. Sudden death overtime.
Well, now what do? Do you sit back and play a cautious game, or do you go and put all your guns up front and go for the works?
I think you got to go for the works.
I think so, too. Sudden death overtime, you never know what's going to happen. You might as well push forward and try to make sure that you're the first one that gets at least an opportunity up on that board.
Don't forget a Christmas special from ESPN to its viewers featuring former Olympic champion Peggy Fleming and JoJo Starbuck. Kathy Mealy, and 5 members of the U.S. Olympic figure skating team. It's Ice Stars 80, and you'll see it on Christmas night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific time from the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. All right, we're back to live action now, this first sudden death overtime period, and hopefully on the part of many fans, and I think all of us, hopefully the only sudden death overtime period, because it has been a little bit on the nippy side.
Right now, I feel like a star in Ice Stars 80.
Feel like ice. Here's Bryant, number 10, getting around De Silva for Babson. Babson up ahead to Von Berg, the big guy from Belgium, takes it to the goal line, and then it is deflected off the Scranton Royals defender, and we get a corner kick. Jim Levin pushed it over the goal line.
National championship could be decided on this corner kick, but Babson has taken the bull by the horns here. We're only a couple of minutes into this overtime period.
All, as you see, being teed up by a guy who could be considered to go to the first half. LeBlanc, number 20, had a good shot one-on-one against the goalkeeper and missed. Here's his corner, swings it in, it's right out front. Haley's first on the ball. And Haley kicks it out of trouble to Crines. Crines boots it almost back by the midfield marker. Conley has it now as Babson once again attacks. Swing it to the top of the box, 25 yards or so away. Now running onto the ball and kicking it through is McNabb, chasing it, unable to catch up with it. Goal kick. 12:50 remaining in the first sudden death overtime period.
Well, the stage was set on that corner kick with a fantastic bit of irony, because Bob LeBlanc, who blew that open net goal in the first half for Babson, had an opportunity to put it away with a good corner. Came in front, couple of good opportunities, and goes over to Scranton.
Just wasn't to be. Von Berg brings it down. Good leg trap. He takes it up from the left side. Pushes it to his left, looking for the return pass. Here's Fisher breaking in, but Crines is there on defense.
Corner kick.
And it is another corner kick, indeed. So again, an opportunity. As we watch the defender, number 5 for Scranton, Jim Levin, take his position. They'll try to give that keeper all the help they can. You see De Silva, number 6, is going in there to try to stay out front. And once again, LeBlanc has it teed up for the corner.
Keep in mind that's ankle-deep mud in front of the goal.
There's LeBlanc, as you see, behind the ball, setting it up for the corner. There it is. It comes out a little bit too deep. It is headed toward the goal, and it hits the post! It hit the post! That was almost it. Saved in by Scranton. Babson feverishly trying to get back in here. 11.5 minutes to go in the sudden death overtime period. But they had a shot on goal, hit the post. I believe it was Stento who tried the shot.
Everybody was halfway to their cars on that shot.
Woo, that was almost it. Goes right through Bryant. Bryant's going to have to take it over to his half. Now a foot race on McBride and Conley. Conley kicks it to his right, and McBride's going to get the ball. Now, why didn't he turn that back to goal? You got to wonder. Perhaps he figured that he wouldn't get enough on it, and McBride would have a free shot.
Well, this is how close Babson came to winning the championship. A lot of action in front of the net. Rudy Von Berg is going to be the one, I believe, who takes the shot. Good thigh trap. Looks for the shot. Hits the post.
How about that? It was almost over there.
Back live.
And on the goal kick here, Cahill will have it for Babson College. Remains scoreless. Sudden death overtime. Yesterday, this Babson team played 128 minutes plus before winning their semifinal match, 2-1 over Glassboro State of New Jersey. And incidentally, Glassboro did get third place in the tournament as they defeated Washington of St. Louis 1-0 in the consolation game. Coming from the left side, Silva, number 2, is upended, and the free kick belongs to Babson.
A tripping foul on the far touchline. This will be a free kick coming up for Babson. Mark Silva will take it. See his legs get tangled up here. He pushed the ball in front of him, I believe. Yeah, there it is, and still the tackle's coming up here. It's all legs. Obvious foul. Good roll. Good roll. Give him an 8.6.
Was on the defense, or rather make it out clear. Ball loose and wide. Oh, another good opportunity. Well, Babson's done everything but put it in.
certainly has been Babson's game here for the first 5 minutes of this overtime. Substitution being made.
Going out is Haley. Haley, number 18, who's played quite a game for Scranton, and coming in to replace him is number 16, Ken Ryman, a senior from Old Bridge, New Jersey. Kick coming out. Stento gets his head on it. To Silva. Cleared by Scranton's defense. Lead. Here comes Crines. Can he beat the defender for Babson, who does a great job of shielding the ball? That's Ken Ryman.
Crines tried a little bit too hard on that play and got called for the whistle. He's being shielded off the play, but still tried to get the ball. Can't blame him. We're going to look at it here. See, Crines is shielded from the ball. Possession has been established already, and he's still trying to go after it. Knocks the man down in the process, so that's why Babson gets it back.
Good call. Stento with it. Number 11 loses for the time being to Nuttall. Nuttall continues along and then taken by McBride. McBride gets out of trouble. His intended pass broken up by number 5, Mark McNabb. Here comes McNabb back for Babson. He's got Van Berg with him. He's got Silva with him. Can't reach either one. Comes out deep. Stento puts it up to the top of the box. Intercepted by Scranton. Van Berg wins it back. Van Berg coming down the left side. There he is. Here's Van Berg, kicked away, and another corner kick for the Babson Beavers, this time from the left side. Third one they have had here in sudden death overtime.
Van Berg, really a big man in this overtime so far. Pushing the ball ahead, staying with it, trying to set something up. Finally runs out of real estate here, and it's tackled away, but it will be a corner. It's a big one going with the win.
Tackled by Hernandez. Here comes the corner right out front. There's the header by Stento. Here's Van Berg going forward, goes over the crossbar. Just incredible. They had it set up again.
Well, they're definitely sitting on their edge of the seats here at Babson College. This one's another one that's really close. Up in the air. Van Berg using every inch of his tall frame to get ahead on that one. Went high.
Nobody's been able to get one by either Bill McNeil for Scranton or Brian Cahill for Babson. We have 7 minutes and a few seconds left in this first sudden death overtime as the goal kick comes out for Scranton. Under tremendous pressure here in this overtime, Babson certainly has dominated in this sudden death. Connolly on the defense for the Babson Beavers. Comes back though, and De Silva has it. There's De Silva coming up. To his left to McBride. Swings it in and over the goal line. Goal kick as he was trying to connect out front with number 16, Ken Ryman. So the two goalkeepers who between them have 23 shutouts. 13 for Scranton's Bill McNeil, 10 this year for Brian Cahill for Babson, and both have shutouts going here. You know somebody's got to lose it.
Yeah, they're very stingy, but so are the defenses in front of them. The goalkeepers haven't had to make many spectacular saves today. It's been the defensive stops in front that have been the factor.
Ball going over the head of Stento. Out of midfield, no clear possession yet. Now on the right side, Fisher for Babson takes it up, but he's virtually alone. Now Van Berg rushes up to help out. They take it down right wing. There's the pass intended for Van Berg. Touched by the Scranton defender Hernandez. Van Berg will throw it in. 5:56 says the clock remaining in the sudden death overtime. Coming in, intercepted by Nuttall. Nuttall left it for De Silva, but he didn't get it. Nuttall now has some space to operate. He's coming back up the field with Ken Ryman. Ryman has it right now. Nuttall in front of him. Ryman pushing on to the foot of Crines. Jim Crines from deep, and the ball just by. That's a dangerous grounder.
That looked dangerous from the midfield line when Nuttall took the ball up. You know, Babson was pushing forward so much they had to get somebody back. Nuttall's a defender bringing the ball up from the back. Sent it over to the right wing.
That's Crines.
Got it to Jim Crines. Crines settles it down, and it's definitely a fact that Cahill was a little bit out of position and beaten on that ball.
All right, comes out off the foot of Van Berg. De Silva now back with it. Scranton trying to regain the momentum that Babson had established here in this sudden death. 4:56 left in the overtime. First 15-minute session. Long try. Good serving pass. Cleared away. Headed away by the Babson defense. Shot on goal from deep. Scooped up on one hop. And the shot by De Silva. And Cahill was there.
About 28 yards out, De Silva took that shot. Took a wicked hop. Might as well keep shooting. You never know what's going to happen. That's what kind of game this is. Long cross headed out. De Silva will rescue it, and he'll wind it up with his right foot. And that bounce just was saved by Cahill.
Well, we saw clearly on the shot earlier by Ken Ryman that the goalkeeper footing is not the best. And Cahill could have been beaten with a shot earlier. So both teams have had the opportunities to win it. As we look at Mark McNabb, number 5 for the Babson Beavers.
Well, he looks like he's been through it today.
Well, they've all been through it. It's pretty muddy out there. Actually, there was some thought by the committee of holding the championship off a day, hoping for better conditions, but you never know what could happen. They could have gotten a frozen field, which could have been probably even worse. So they decided to go with it today, and we have a well-fought but still scoreless tie. 3:33 says the clock in the overtime remaining. Scranton in blue, Babson in white. Foul whistled up. Free kick coming up for Scranton. Long way out. Putting it down is Art Collier now for the free kick. Got Ryman in the box along with McBride. Pass, McBride bearing down on the goalkeeper. Loose ball. Out of trouble for the moment.
And a wasted shot.
Yes, a wasted shot for sure by De Valerio. Had the keeper a little bit out of position. Thought might have been able to do a little bit better with that.
Okay, he'll leap up in the air. I'm sure that ball is muddy and very slippery, and I'm sure his hands are too. He couldn't hold on to it, skipped over his back. Someone was waiting there that would have poked it right in. He's got 2:35 left to go.
There's the goal kick by Cahill. And jumping over the top, little push on the part of number 3, Mike Crines for the University of Scranton. Free kick for Babson. Scranton saving it in and then losing it was Jim Levin. So it's the throw in for Babson over on the Scranton half. Nuttall saves it in along the sideline. Stedo kicks it up ahead on the right wing for Silva. Silva looking to center. Ball over the goal line and another corner kick coming up for Babson. Boy, they had them here in this overtime. That's their 4th overtime corner kick. Less than 2 minutes remaining.
I'm beginning to wonder if either of these teams can score.
Behind the ball, number 20, Bob LeBlanc Jr. from Newton. Newton just a few miles away from Wellesley. They're adjoining towns here in Massachusetts. He swings it in, the ball coming out. It is loose. It is free. Steno had it for the moment. Nobody able to really get on it. There's Big Von Berg going after it. Kick to the side and over the touchline. The throw in from the other side now for Babson.
The ball just lands in the mud and sits there.
It plops, that's it. Here it comes down again to the top of the box. Clock says bearing down on a minute. We've got 1:10 remaining in overtime. Shot on goal, it's good! The game is over. The championship belongs to Babson on a goal by John Sisk.
What a shot! And all day he's been marking De Silva low, and now he's the hero of the game, and it's over. What a super shot! And look at inside the Scranton goal. Let's see if we get that. The keeper sitting by the post. The Scranton players just sitting there. There's your keeper, Bill McNeil. He was beaten on a very simple shot. He's played super all day, and then outside from about 25 yards, one blast by him, and the game is over.
What a shot by Sisk, and it finally breaks this one up. The clock says 1:06 remaining in the first overtime session, so the official end came at 13:54. And of course, you add the 90 minutes for the regulation time, so they actually played out here 103 minutes 54 seconds before Babson wins it 1-0 and wins the national championship for the 2nd year in a row.
The shot heard round Wellesley, I'll tell you that much.
What a shot by Sisk, and look at those happy Babson students and fans. Over 3,000 fans turning out. There's Jim Stento being embraced by Bill Rogers, the Babson coach. It's a happy gang of Babson Beavers who turn away a dead game University of Scranton Royals team. And they had their moments out here today. In fact, really, nobody, I know it's a cliche, but nobody deserved to lose it. But let's see that winning shot again by Sisk.
Watch this one. He got everything off his right foot. Sisk with some open space. He's got a lot of open space there. He'll wind up, and we'll see here if McNeil was screened. Sisk gives it all. There it is, your championship shot in slow motion. Was he screened? I don't think so. I think he was just beaten. In the net, game is over. And Babson is the first team ever to win 3 national championships in an NCAA Division III. And they do it 2 years in a row, 79-80, and couple that with 75. Championship team up here.
Well, finally, on the statistical side, 18 shots to 15. Scranton had the better of the shots. 7 saves for Babson, 4 for the keeper for Scranton. Corners 9-8 in favor of Babson. Eventually, they had 4. And there you see, being hoisted up, the winning goalkeeper for Babson, Brian Cahill. He had, as we say here this afternoon, 7 saves. There's Bill Rogers being hoisted up onto the shoulders of the Babson followers.
I'd say they're fairly excited, Lou.
Scranton. They are. 23 for Scranton, 22 for Babson. Yep, they're excited. They have every right to be. And Al Troutwig, it was quite a game.
It was sure. It was very cold out here. The conditions were very, very rough to work in for everyone concerned. Our crew, you and I, both teams, the people in the stands. But it was an exciting finish. But it came down to the fact that Babson, the team they said could not score, was the team that had to score. Once again in overtime, they did it. And it's a very dejected Scranton team that's walking off. But they have a lot to be proud of.
And Babson, on the other hand, a very, very happy, celebrating crew. They won it 1-0 in sudden death overtime on a winning goal by number 6 for the Babson, or number 13, I should say, for the Babson Beavers, John Sisk. There's a look at a dejected bunch of Scranton Royals. As you say, they have every right to be proud about the way they played, and really, somebody's got to win, somebody's going to lose. Babson wins it over Scranton 1-0. Our pleasure in bringing this championship game to you, and Al Troutwig, nice to work with you again.
Lou will do it again. Thank you.
I'm Lou Palmer from Babson College in Wellesley, Massachusetts. Final score for the NCAA Division III Championship. Babson 1, and the University of Scranton 0.
Despite returning 5 of its top 6 scorers and Kevin Bryant, the outstanding defensive player of the 1979 NCAA tournament, Babson's 1980 men's soccer team took everyone's best shot on the way to a 2nd consecutive national title. Rogers added future Babson Hall of Famers Mark McNabb and Rodolph von Berg to an already talented roster, but the Beavers were forced to overcome 2 straight 1-goal losses at the end of the regular season. The Green and White defeated Westfield State and avenged a regular season loss to Brandeis, both in overtime, before edging Binghamton in the national quarterfinals. In an NCAA Final Four played at Babson, the Beavers needed 4 overtimes to oust Glassboro State in the semifinals, and then edged Scranton 1-0 in double overtime on John Sisk's 104th minute goal to become the first host school in Division III history to raise the walnut in bronze.